Hey guys, man, today just so got away from me. Doing firewood. There was the annual equipment auction this morning, 7 or 8 miles from the house I had to visit. My office needed to be cleaned, and I really wanted to bring you along on this video from A to Z, but unfortunately we're starting somewhere around L to Z. So this is going to be a smoked ham on the Dyna Glow, and the ham is roughly 5 pounds. So I'm so sorry, but my time factor is just not allowing it. It's getting late in the day. It's probably after 1:30 p.m. And my glaze, I have it written down because I can't remember everything that I do. So for my glaze I use 2 cups of water, half a stick of butter, half a cup of brown sugar, 1/4 cup of honey, 2 tablespoons of crushed red pepper, 2 tablespoons of pink salt, a tablespoon of garlic, and a 1/3 cup of olive oil. This has already been in the smoker. It's back out now. I'm putting it back in. This is actually a new tin foil or foil pan, so to speak. The other one was, believe it or not, smaller than this, and I just didn't like the way it looked. So we've already been doing this for about an hour and a half, and I'm going to see, this fits perfect. This is nice, and I'm just going to bring you along with as much of this as I have time to. And this is what's left of my my glaze, and it's very runny, I know. Now I'm going to have about a 1/4 inch of the liquid in the bottom. And then I'm going to put a hat on it, as I call it. I don't know if you can hear my rooster, but he's my man. We had a hat on it before. And basically this is all I'm going to do with this. And this is going to help keep some of the juices and liquids and so forth in the meat, but it's also going to allow the smoke to come up and be reflected back down into the meat. And the wood that I'm using for this particular recipe is mesquite and apple wood. So I may as well tell you what my brine is, and you can judge whether or not you'd like to use that. So I have a 2.5 gallon pot, and I put in half a cup of apple cider vinegar, half a cup of brown sugar, 1/4 cup of honey, and 4 tablespoons of white salt, not pink. Then I fill that up with as much water as it takes to cover the meat completely. And I'll bring that to a boil. The second it boils, I'll shut it off and I'll let it cool. I don't add ice, I don't do any of that stuff. And once it's back to room temperature, I'll put the meat in it and I'll put a lid on it. I will not put it in the refrigerator. It will stay out on the stove overnight. I like to do 24 hours minimally. I mean, you can do it much longer, up to 3 days. But this was in here for not quite 24 hours, probably 20. But again, my time, I've got something big coming up, and we've been working on this for 6 months, and I believe it's finally coming to fruition. So I plan on changing my lifestyle, my job, all kinds of things, if the news that I got today is accurate. So anyway, I've been running around like a rooster with his head cut off. But again, I just wanted to bring you along on this video because I really believe that this is going to come out awesome. So this is going to go back in the Dyna Glow, and I'm gunning for 170 degree internal temperature. And I know I haven't showed this before, but I actually have my meat thermometer handy for today. So we're going to put this back in the Dyna-Glo. It's still cooking hot in there. It's probably over 200 degrees as we speak, but I'm going to adjust that down to about 200. I don't want this to be tough and chewy. The longer you can cook it at the target temperature, the more tender it's going to be. And you're not going to burn the glaze and so forth. So you don't want to cook this at a high temperature just to get it done so you can eat. You want to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So I'm going to pop this back in the Dyna-Glo, and I'll show you that real quick. And again, today's been a crazy day, so things are not what they normally are. But we'll be right back. Don't ask. The Dyna-Glo is sitting in the back of my my little trailer right now, and the ham is back in it. It's got its hat on. It's been re-glazed, so to speak, and we're going to let this go another couple hours, and then I'm going to check it out again and probably re-glaze it one more time, which will be the third time. But again, I apologize for the lack of detail and so forth in this video, but I know for a fact this is going to come out really, really good, and I wanted you guys to see it. I wanted to share my recipe with you in case this is something you're interested in doing. So we're going to close this up, and we'll be back in a little while. Thanks, guys. Okay, guys, the ham is on the Dyna-Glo, cooking beautifully. I just checked it. The Dyna-Glo temperature is about 200 degrees. It's still a little warm, so I opened the chimney to let some of the heat escape, and that's going to bring the temperature down. Like I said, I want an internal temperature of about 170, but I want this to cook slowly so that it will retain a lot of the juice's flavor, and it'll be tender as well. So as my two sides, traditional ham, cabbage, and potatoes, but I'm going to do this with a twist. So what I did is I have this awesome head of cabbage that I bought from a local farm, and I don't even want to talk about my garden, but what I'm going to do is put these cabbage steaks or slices of cabbage, however you'd like to address them, into the smoker and get those started, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to make the potatoes. And these are the last potatoes from my garden this year, so they're kind of small, but they're going to work because I'm going to cut them in half, and they're going to go into some olive oil, butter, and some seasonings, and I'll show you what I'm doing there when that time comes. So what I did is I took one of the grates from the Dyna-Glo and covered it in tin foil. I don't want a lot of smoky flavor in the cabbage, so I'm going to keep it covered in tin foil on the bottom. It will get a little bit of smoke flavor from the top, but this is going to keep it from getting like you're eating a piece of charcoal. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some olive oil down. These will not get flipped. These are going to cook the way they're going to sit on the grate. Then I'm going to take some thyme leaves, and I'm going to put that down on the charcoal. I'm sorry, the charcoal. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's been such a day. On the grate. And my wife picked this up, Jane's Crazy Salt, and I was a little skeptical, but I actually like it. So I'm going to put a little bit of that down on the bottom as well. And of course, we need some garlic. A little bit of garlic on the bottom. And I don't want to overdo it, because if this, in my absence, gets too hot, I don't want it to burn and become a ridiculously overpowering flavor. So now I'm going to put the two cabbage steaks on here, or slices, however you'd like to call them again. And I have this little piece that's the end, and that's going on there as well. Now on top of these, I'm going to liberally give it some garlic. Again, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about today. Olive oil. And we're gonna use this salt again. And I love the flavor of cabbage alone, so I'm not gonna kill it with seasonings. A little bit of the thyme leaves on top. And I don't know if y'all can hear my rooster, but boy, he's happy today. The garlic. And again, I'm not going to kill it with flavor. But this is, I made this seasoning myself, and I really, really like this. My wife picked up a coffee grinder, a cafe I think it's called, Kaffe. And I dehydrated some onions in the Excalibur, some sweet onions, not Vidalias, but sweet onions. And I ground those up, fresh black pepper, garlic, and just a touch of crushed red pepper. And I've really come to like this. So this is going on top as well. And then we're going to slip this into the Dyna-Glo because it's going to take a little while to cook. It's probably, to get it to the tenderness that I enjoy and my wife will eat, probably about an hour at 170 to 200 degrees. So I'm going to get this in here and then we'll be back and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the potatoes. Thanks guys, hang in there. So now it's time to get the potatoes ready. And when I take them from the garden, they are stored dirty, so to speak. I don't wash them. I leave the dirt on them and whatever else may be attached to them, and I wash them when I'm ready to use them. That helps preserve them a little bit better. And like I said, these are all pretty small potatoes. No pun intended. But all potato lives matter, so we're going to use them all. And I'm going to slice these up as you see me doing. Boy, they want to get away, huh? And the smaller ones I'm just going to cut in half. And this is going to be an outstanding addition to this ham and cabbage steak dinner. And this is my cast iron Dutch oven, which is going to cook the potatoes right on top of the firebox. This Dutch oven has short legs on it, which keeps it directly off the heat, which is actually pretty nice. I wish I had a bigger Dutch oven, but I don't, so I don't for now anyway. So this is going to do. And I am looking at the potatoes as I'm cutting them to make sure that there's nothing funky on there that I'd rather not eat. But let me get these sliced up and I'll show you how I'm going to season them. And we'll be right back. Okay, so I've got the potatoes all cut up. And inside of this pot is half a stick of butter. And we're going to drizzle some olive oil over top of the potatoes. And I'm a little disappointed. I keep forgetting to get parsley when I'm out doing my shopping stuff. So normally I would put parsley, you know, and all of these seasonings as well as the butter and olive oil are totally dependent on how much potato you're cooking. So it's really hard to give a measurement. But I'm going to put some paprika on it. I'm going to put, this is actually pretty good. I forget where my wife picked this up. But this is salt-free garlic and herb seasoning. And let's see, garlic, onion, black pepper, basil, rosemary, fennel, celery seed, and carrot. So we're going to put some of this in here. We're definitely going to put some straight up garlic on it. And as far as seasoning goes for the potatoes, that's it. And I finally got a new pair of tongs, rubber little grabbies at the bottom. And so far so good. I really like these. These were at, what's the name of that store? It's like an everything store. It's kind of like an upgraded dollar store. Holy cow. Today's been a day. I'm here to tell you. Okay, doesn't look like I'm going to remember this right now. Big Lots. Okay, I remember it. Big Lots. And they were only like $4, $3.99, I believe. They're fairly sturdy. Exel steel, EXCELSTEEL. Yeah, they're fairly sturdy. And what I hate is a pair of tongs that wobble side to side when you're trying to pick something up, and these don't. And what's cool, they have this little lock to keep them closed. Not like that's a huge thing, but it's cool for hanging them up. Okay, so now that's all in here mixed up, and I'm going to put the lid on, and then it's going to go out on the firebox of the Dyna-Glo. Okay guys, it's been, I don't even know how long, and I hate to say it, but I'm kind of winging this one. It's been at least an hour or so since the last clip of this video, and I'm going to check the internal temperature of the meat, and then I'm going to show you my secret weapon for my my potatoes. Temperature on the Dyna-Glo right now is about 170. I've added wood one time since the initial loading, and it wasn't a lot of wood. It was less than half of the fire basket. Those cabbage steaks are looking awesome. So let us check. 140, 150, 160. Ooh, not quite 170. Up there it goes, 170. It actually might be a little too warm. Not quite 180, but above 170, so it looks like, and this thermometer is not integrated very well, but I'm going to guess it's like 175 to 178, and that's going to work. That's going to work really well. So we're going to put the hat back on, and we're going to let the wood burn out, and it's going to kind of, for lack of a better term in here, simmer. Boy, does this smell good. Okay, now for my potatoes. And this is the wife's rule. I'm allowed 2 shots of alcohol in any given year. So this is Brandy. I don't want to say the name, but this is straight up Brandy. It's not blackberry, raspberry, anything weird like that. It's straight up Brandy that's been aged in oak barrels, and I do buy it. I do not make it. So there's 2 shots of that in here, and that's going in the potatoes. If you've never had buttered brandy seasoned potatoes, man, you got to try it. You're going to mix that up really well. And I'm going to guess we probably have another hour anyway before this is finished. So we'll be back when it's all done. Guys, I hope you're having a great Saturday, and today is October 24th, I believe, 2020. And I know 2020 has been tough for all of us. But hopefully you're cooking, eating, and everything is going your way as much as possible. Talk soon, guys. Be back. Okay, guys. Again, many apologies. I don't have the time to finish this video the way that I'd like to. Maybe I shouldn't have even made it. But I don't do hams very often, and I thought this may be one in a few opportunities to bring you along on this. So it's been about 6.5 hours, and that is since I've started the ham. I have only added the glaze one additional time. I have not turned it, of course. It's still in the pan, simmering in the juices. The cabbage steaks, you saw what I did with those. They have not been turned. And the potatoes, seasoned with Brandy. Everything should be ready to go. But today's just been kind of crazy. So I'm just going to open everything up, let you have a peek, and that's unfortunately going to be the end of the video. And yeah, I'm putting on little winter fur. It's getting cold. Tonight it's going to be 33 Fahrenheit. And next Friday, a week from yesterday, they're actually calling for a little bit of snow. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm not going to lie, snow really doesn't bother me unless I have to do work out in it. So let's take a look here and see where we're at. Okay, our temperature right now, and as I said, I've added wood one time since the initial loading of the firebox, and we're at 200 degrees exactly according to that thermometer. I know the internal temperature has already been reached, we saw that. So hopefully I didn't overdo it. Now we're going to take off the hat. You know, let me grab a fork, I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to test this ham out. And I can tell you it's extremely juicy. And that's how I like ham. The last thing I like about ham is when it's all dry and kind of nasty. Definitely cooked as far as I cut in anyway. The rooster is not getting any ham. This really, really is delicious. Not even kidding. The cabbage steaks are very tender, so we're good to go there. Brandy seasoned potatoes, they have that nice golden brown look to them. They are not mushy, but they're soft enough to easily stab with a fork, and that's the way that I like potatoes. I don't like when they're really soft and nasty. Awesome. This is going to be a great dinner for tonight, and again, my apologies for not being more in depth. I hope that I conveyed enough information that you can replicate this recipe and that you can enjoy this yourself. It really, really turned out well. And I've had some people ask, actually quite a few people ask about the Dyna-Glo. If it's real, if I like it, if I still have it. The Dyna-Glo, and I'm not going to lie, I don't make any money off of this. But the Dyna-Glo is, I never smoke anything unless I'm able to be there to tend to it. And the Dyna-Glo is that kind of a smoker. You really need to be hands-on, so to speak, to, like the mod I made on the firebox on a previous video that I showed y'all, to be able to adjust the airflow, the chimney, and keep it loaded with wood. This is not a load it with wood, put your food in, and forget about it for 6 or 8 or 10 hours. This isn't that kind of smoker. I would guess you would need a pellet smoker, electric, automatic feed, and all that stuff. But for the price and for what it does, if you're able to pay attention to it, I'm still, and it's been at least a year since I've had this, I'm still very happy with this smoker. And even though I'm running around like an idiot with my head cut off, I'm able to find the time to just check on it and add wood or adjust the airflow or the chimney damper or whatever the case may be, so that like 99.5% of my meals really come out well on this. So guys, have a great Saturday, have a great rest of the weekend, and thanks for being with me, and we'll talk soon. Take care.